Thank you. I think that's my questions. I think it's time to throw it over to the audience.
Thank you.
Hi, Johnny. My name's Gary Hine. I'm a photographer. And we talked about the very relaxed style you had in your catalogues right at the beginning of the copy. Yeah. And I noticed that at a very early time of your catalogues, seeing how you did the imagery in the catalogue was very similar to the copy that you put in. Yeah. It was a very relaxed imagery, and that style is still copied now. Yeah. And I actually worked on a catalogue where they said that could you shoot it like Boden? My question is, did you do the photography at the beginning?
No, I didn't do any photography. We had this mantra, which was that a good shot should be like a really nice shot in your family photograph album. That was, unfortunately, everybody's copied that style now. We probably could be in this room actually, but rather interesting. We had a photo shoot the other day, and we were rather pleased with it. And then another catalogue came out about 2 weeks ago, which using the same model and almost identical clothes. And it transpired, we spoke to the model, and she said, well, actually, at the photo shoot, this particular company had our catalogue and was saying to the photographer, right, copy it exactly like this. And, it's quite hard to move the photography on because you need, you've got some very serious constraints. You need to show the product. You want to do it in an aspirational way. But I didn't do it. The answer to your question is I didn't do it, but having great product is the most important thing, and great imagery is the second most important thing.
Hi, Emma from Lakex Wine. I'm just really keen to know how your new newspaper catalogue format is responding against the smaller, more traditional.
Some of you may know we had a drop 3 for autumn. Was it drop 3 for autumn? Drop 3. It was printed by The Guardian. It was basically like a newspaper. It was what was great about it was much cheaper than a catalogue. It was 33p in the post, I think, versus a catalogue, which is over £1. I asked the marketing director the same question. As usual, he didn't give me a straight answer. But I think it's worked well. And above all, it's different. And we've been rather rubbish, actually, in certain recent times of doing different things. And we're really pleased with the, as I said, receiving a mail order catalogue is a really unimportant part of people's lives. So if you give them something different, they like it.
We've had lots of positive feedback from customers as well, and what a pleasure it was when it came through their letterbox. The format just stood out, and lots of emails from customers about it.
My name's Hayley Chalmers. I'm just starting an online fashion business for a short lady. Thank you. So I'm very interested to know what you did was innovation. Yeah. You presumably didn't have any history to base any decisions on.
Yes.
How did you decide how many garments to have and how much stock?
I mentioned a chap called Justin Metcalf who helped me with the mailing plan. As we all know, predicting what's going to sell is fundamentally impossible. And our biggest customer whinge is the fact that we're never in stock. You can't be 100% in stock. It's incredibly hard. I think you do need help. If that's sorry, that sounds patronising. But you do need somebody to help you with that. I would argue you probably need to do a preview site and just get show it to some friends, focus groups, get a feel for. We actually make quite a few decisions based on our view of the photography. When we see the photography, we place initial orders, and then based on we have a bit of help from previous sales, and that certain styles are going to probably be slightly better, and then we look at the photography and we top up based on the photography, and it's kind of quite helpful, but actually it's a bloody nightmare.
Hello from Wiggy Wigglers. Hi. I wondered which the best ways that you found of acquiring new customers.
We have tried everything, and we continue to try everything. We've got Rob here, who's the customer acquisition guy. I think in the early years, the obvious things, we rented mailing lists, we did two-stage advertising, we did PR, we did recommend a friend. Then we were quite early in on the promotional deals with we had several years of promotions with Country Living, Red. We're still doing that, I think they all, it's been like a graphic equalizer, that no one thing has been consistently brilliant. I think in terms of profitability, Recommend a Friend has been hugely profitable because it doesn't cost anything. Cold Lists has been good. We since Rob came, we've done a lot of much more clever data analysis, and we've got better at list rental. But I think it's always going to be, you should always try everything. Don't put all your eggs in one basket and follow the numbers. If one thing is looking rubbish, just stop doing it.
Jane Hanway from the Folio Society. I just wondered, have you invested any money purely in brand building, or has everybody you've spent been on generating sales?
Quite a timely question, because we're going through quite a lengthy process of defining what the brand is, and we've just hired an advertising agency actually, so we're thinking of quite a big campaign in the spring. But the answer is we have a very, very tight finance director who is incredibly tricky and very good, and everything is we're pretty ruthless. We don't spend money unless there is a return. We just think that once that culture starts to embed itself, you're on a road to ruin, really. That actually, our catalogue is our brand, really, and our website. So we don't, we did try the sort of moody ads in the glossy magazines, but it was a complete waste of time, in my opinion.
John Wilson from Macdonald Cancer Support. You mentioned your reluctance to being perhaps on the high street, everywhere with clothing shop. Are there any companies that you really admire their high street operation, their catalogue operation, and their website operation? You think, I'm really impressed by what they're doing with all those different multi-channels?
Answer is not one company that does it well. The biggest, people always talk about J. Crew in America because they are they're a genuine multi-channel brand, and they have lots of shops, and they have a very big direct business as well, and they're big and profitable. What nobody says is that they started off as a catalogue business and then opened tons of shops, and they went bankrupt in the process. The original shareholders lost all their money, and they had to get private equity in, and now they're doing quite well. So as a financial model, that doesn't excite me very much. I think there are lots of businesses that do things quite well, but there's no one that I look at and think, oh, that they've really cracked it. The reasons, I'm terrified of losing money again and borrowing money, having been burnt before. And I'm also, this whole substitution, this cannibalisation issue is very, very important. What is the point of opening a load of shops if half of the people who go to those shops are going to be buying from you anyway?
Freddie Markham, travelling like we're travelling too now. When we started, we didn't give many discounts. You were one of the first people who sort of institutionalised the money off offer, the free post and packing, the free returns, and everybody now does that.
Yes.
I've noticed that recently your offers seem to be, your percentages seem to be sort of creeping up a bit.
Yeah.
And I assume, though, that you're building them into your margin in some way because it's your marketing.
Yes.
Where do you think this is going to end? Do you think is that always going to be a permanent part, and is that an important part of whatever you did? We presume you couldn't do without it now, possibly. I just wonder whether you think there's ever going to reverse, or whether it's just going to get bigger and bigger discounts on some notional selling price.
It's no secret that autumn trading has been in certain segments quite tricky, and we have an ambitious growth target, and we vary the offers depending on trading. Of course, I don't like doing it, but it is, customers expect it. I mean, in America at the moment, you are getting really, really big discounts. I mean, my mailbox is full of 50% off offers, 30% off. I mean, we don't know how lucky we are in this country. In America is a bloodbath, and we haven't really had a proper recession here yet, in my opinion, and it may still come. I am quite worried about next year because I think people are going to notice, whether it's child benefit, VAT, things are going to be quite hard, I think. And you've just got to do it, Freddie, to clear the stock. We have quite a good bought margin, but then after all the discounting, it comes down to something less sexy. But I'm afraid we have to do it.
Hi, I'm Mel Henson from Words of Style. You've got a very particular tone of voice in the copy, and I'm interested to know how you brief and train your writers and then go through the proofs process.
We have various internal documents which try and help them. I mean, the point about copy is it has to be informative but also uplifting. It helps the fact that the chap who writes the copy was at Oxford with me, and he's a very nice chap, and he understands me. I think, you can give people endless briefing, but actually you've got to have somebody who you really like, who shares your values doing it. I think, that emotional engagement with your staff is as important as your emotional engagement with your customers. So it's a kind of mini-me, really, I suppose. Poor chap. Yeah.
Johnny, good morning. Noel from Recordings. Thank you very much for the interesting discussion. How did you, I want to ask about the techie side.
Yes.
How did you start, with the computer? How did you get your database going? Where is it now? Well,
yes.
Listening to your discussions might not be right.
Well, probably not. That was one area that I was very weak at. And to be honest, Julian covered that area. As with all these things, it's a question of hiring good people. We had some disasters there. I mean, we now have our own bespoke mail order system, which we wrote ourselves. And I remember when we started the whole project, it was calculated it would cost £1 million and take a year, and it cost £5 million and took 5 years. It was incredibly painful, but actually it has been worth it. And I don't think we could have, it's got all the bells and whistles that we need and lots of problems with it. But we were very cautious about spending money on IT. And every IT, even now, every IT development has to be, you have to justify it in terms of a financial return. So, for example, I thought about a year ago, it'd be great to have videos on the website, and lots of people are doing videos, and we spent a huge amount of money on sort of catwalk videos, and nobody watched them. Actually, the most important thing on a website is to listen to your customers who say, I want speed and efficiency, and all the rest is nice, but actually you've got to focus on and all the flash that people need to have the sexy stuff slows the computers down, and we're always focusing on what they want, which is stuff that can deliver, would be my key advice.